The fall fireworks have started and the autumn leaves are putting on a colorful show. Have you ever wondered why? The season's winding down. Leaves are changing color. Why now? Why now? You know why? The sunlight.
That's right.
Why do hummingbirds go back to Mexico? The sunlight. Shorter days. We've got shorter days, and what happens is chlorophyll. That's the thing that keeps. I think everybody knows what chlorophyll. Do you know what chlorophyll is, Sam?
That's the green stuff in plants.
There you go.
Close enough.
Yeah.
And so it makes the leaves green, and it basically what needs sunlight to produce food, and chlorophyll is how that all happens. And where when the sunlight changes, it signals the plant to say, "Okay, time to drop your leaves." And when the leaf falls. You think about this when it's a miraculous thing. You look at the leaves and then, at the ground, you think, what a PIA. But when what's really happening, the tree goes where it has that leaf and it just takes it and then it drops it so that it can't attach anymore. And it goes and heals that little scar. The leaf falls off and drops to the ground.
It's
a lot going on.
Wow.
A lot going on.
A lot is. Yeah.
That's it. And it leaves a little bit of a scar. Chlorophyll, okay, when this slows down in production, the other pigments take over. So during spring and summer, there's plenty of sunlight, so plants make chlorophyll. So many green leaves. And if you notice in summertime, some of those purple flat-leaved plants look a little greenish purple. Yeah. And that's because there's so much sun. So chlorophyll is what makes plants green. If it wasn't for chlorophyll, like we wouldn't get the other color, like carotenoid. Carotenoid. Carrots, yellow, orange, and brown. That's the color in plants. Bananas,
yeah.
Carotenoid, right?
Yeah.
Corn.
Right.
There you go. Carotenoid. Sunflowers, right? I think. Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
we'll give you that. And again, where in the trees, it's the same thing, where the chlorophyll dissipates and the carotenoid will go and fill in that place. So it makes it yellow. Same thing with red, yellow or orange, by the way. Okay, and anthocyanin. Anthocyanin is the red color in leaves.
Awesome.
Cranberries, apples, cherries, strawberries, but also in trees. So red maples, the native red maples that usually have a red color. Also, burning bush. When you see burning bush, that's again that's anthocyanin coming through, which are normally green leaves. So again, all that is happening as we're watching the pretty colors of the plants change. And I always say, you get as much, think of the fall leaf colors that you get kind of as if they were a flower, because you get interesting colors and it becomes if a plant has a flower in the spring and then it gets great color on it in the fall, then you've got a 2-season plant with color.
Awesome.
Now, did you know that if we get an early frost, that the reds aren't as intense? So have you ever wondered, it's the colors aren't really nice in the Poconos this year. And what's usually happening is that it's an early frost, so you don't get that brilliant red. But I'll tell you what, it's been nice this year.
Yeah, really.
This year has been very good.
Really good.
Overcast days where there's not as much sun increase the intensity of the fall colors.
Wow. Yeah.
Amazing, Aaron says. Well, so most of the broadleaf trees shed their leaves in fall. So like azaleas, they keep the top leaves on. But you'll notice that there are leaves, like a lot of people say, I think my azaleas are dying. Right. They're not. Yeah. They're not dying. They're fine. Every plant will drop its leaves because they're maximizing the food production in that plant. And if there's not enough sun to produce the food, then it becomes basically a gateway for moisture to leave the plant. So if you drop some of those leaves, then you're not going to lose as much moisture and you're going to have a plant that lives over the winter. Wow. I have that I've talked to plants and they've told me.
Oh, yeah?
They told me. If you looked at your white pine, hey, your white pine's got a skirt of all dead needles under it, mostly yellow. And that pines will not drop anywhere between, depending on the variety, they can drop 2 needles or 3 needles, depending on what variety, and that they keep the residual. It's just interesting where again, everything at this time of the year is changing. And it's, you're not doing anything wrong. And like we did a segment a couple of years ago. Is it dead, dying, or dormant? So we're going to probably do that one again.
3Ds?
Yeah. And most of the time it's just dormant. And that's what's happening. These plants are just going to sleep for the winter. And that's what they need to do.